talk about blogs, I'll skip that slide really, I'll just show that slide. There are about 170 million blogs now, and blogs, only a few years ago, 2006, and we've been doing this for a while, it seems like forever, but we're only talking about 2 years. And you can see in 2006, something happened. And the number of blogs were doubling every 5 months. And people decided they were becoming publishers. And we now have the status of a super blogger. I was at the Web 2 conference in New York in November. And I was at this cocktail party in the evening given by a few of the digerati. And I talked to this lady and said, oh, so are you a blogger then? She stood back and said, I'm a blogger of some repute. Ooh. And, you know, they really do have a view. And if you're making more than $75,000 a year on your blog, then you are an A-list blogger. And there is such a thing as an A-list blogger. They get invited to these things, they have a status, a swagger about them. Anyone read any A-list blogs? No? Jeff Jarvis? No? Does anyone suggest any A-list bloggers? No. Okay. But basically, they're publishers. So they write about something and they get millions of people reading their blog, and then they're able to sell advertising which delivers more than $75,000 a year. So there's some stats that are probably out of date because I wrote this in November. You get the idea. Now, at one time, blogs used to be about, well, the word blog comes from web blog. So it used to be individual people's diaries. And in the early days, we used to read about how the dog was sick and they were really looking forward to going to Costa Blanca for holidays and whatever. And then there came a change where people started to write real information. And Hurricane Katrina in 2004 was a kind of a big marker where people were actually documenting what was going on in Louisiana when that hurricane was going on. And that was of use, and it was used by the broadcast companies to broadcast information. And it was proliferated by the Red Cross, who were actually managing those blogs. Again, one of my sons was out in Honduras at Utilia last year when Hurricane Felix was on. And you know, you see on the internet map the hurricane is going to kill 450 people last time it went swiftly across, going straight to an island where my youngest lad was, and I was a bit concerned. The only information was actually on the BBC blog. And it turned out I had this conversation with this blogger, and he's saying, oh, it's all right, calm seas at the moment, we can't see anything. And it turned out this guy's from Marple anyway, it's like a local lad. And what happened in between us doing that, the blogs were starting to gather momentum, and the BBC started to publish the blogs on their website. So it was separate, and then they brought it in as part of the news. So, that was only last year, 2008, June. So what we're seeing then is, the application where blogs or user-generated content is actually becoming the news. Anyone know about the Del Hell story? Okay. A guy called Jeff Jarvis is a technology correspondent. A few years ago, 2005, you can look it up on the internet. All these, published stories on the internet. 2005, he had a problem with his Dell computer, and he started to blog about the fact that it was crap, and the service was crap. And, he wanted to get someone to mend his computer, essentially. And he coined the phrase Del Hell. I'm in this Del Hell. And that became a catchphrase, and they had a swarm of feedback which caused Dell to change the whole way they address their customer service. And they created the whole Dell Idea Store, and I'll show you in a second, the whole customer service interface where they had a blog, forums, an online community to manage this customer service. So now we see it as how it is. You know, we manage forums, we manage blogs, customers have an interaction with us, and if you've got a problem, you go on the blog and you scream, and someone will do something. Just to show the anatomy of a blog, this is a blog that we designed for Littlewoods. It's got the all-important RSS feed. It has a title and a bit of a brand. And the stories that are most important, because it's chronological, because what you do is you write a piece of an article and then it goes up. And the next one comes up and it replaces it. You have a chronological list of content which you need to access, and so you can decide whatever the way you want to access. In this case, most read or whatever. Yeah. So you can decide how you actually go through it. Now, the rest of this stuff is to say that all these things are links, or they're semantic web. In other words, the way that they are used is good for the search engines. Okay. Anyone know what semantic web is? No. Can you write it down and go and search it? Because it's a big deal. It's how the search engines relate to websites, and therefore how you should write websites to be easy for the search engines to pick up and list on the search engines. Okay? So if you write something, I haven't got there's a whole kind of different lecture really about the semantic web, but if you want things to be search optimized, you have to write them in a certain way. So all this other stuff really is about tagging. It's about this is a headline, and it's written as a headline, and the search engines love headlines. This is a link. You know, it's only one link, but search engines love links. These are tags which describe the content. Search engines love metadata in tags. So the actual way that a blog is written is very search engine friendly. I'll skip that. Now, there are lots of blogs and lots of case studies of very small companies doing very well out of blogs. You set yourself up as a suit maker and you call yourself the English Cut, and you say you're a Savile Road tailor on your blog. The fact that you're based in Cumbria and you get orders from Abu Dhabi, it doesn't matter. Two-man band, and they're doing very well out of their blog because the search engines are going according to their content. Their content is refreshed every day. It's very well listed in the they look after their metadata. They get to the top of the search engines, and on a global basis, they deliver the image of a Savile Row tailor, and they get the orders of a Savile Row tailor. They position themselves very easily through the blogs. The other thing about blogs is that, who knows a story about Chris, what's his name? Getting old. Anyway, it comes to me in a minute. The guy who's the editor of Wired magazine, Chris Anderson. Anyone know the story about Chris Anderson? A year or 2 years ago, October 2007, he, on his blog, published 300 PR email addresses and said, don't send me any more emails, I do not want it, I'm actually blocking PR agencies from contacting me. You send me stuff that's irrelevant and rubbish, do not, and other writers and editors have started to take this on. So how do we get information to these guys when they feel they're being spammed? Well, we know January last year, 75% reported to see blogs as a start for story ideas. They want to find them themselves. They look for the search engines or through their RSS feeds or whatever, and they are looking and scouring blogs. So that's the background really of social media.